Society thinks you have it figured out, but bro, you're financially incorrect, man.
On today's episode of Financially Incorrect Uganda Edition, we speak to Wanda JR, an actor, musician, and founder of Art for Heart.
We struggle with the idea of helping people understand how you can actually earn and expound the idea of being a creator in this country.
He finds his way to the UK via his uncle, where he learns a number of really key lessons.
During that exchange with the therapist is when he hit me that I'm done with this whole being timid. And
he had to work 2 jobs to pay £9,000 per year in school fees, which taught him resilience.
He helped me out the first couple of, then also had to now start to work. He told me, bruh, this is not KLA and vibes full time. You have to make ends meet here.
He also falls into a little bit of trouble in the UK.
I get detained.
You get detained. What? Wanda opens up about trying to make it as a creative in Uganda and gives us an interesting story about a date.
First of all, that girl was a real G. Like, I remember the first time I picked her from church and we were driving in my car. Bro, we pushed that ride.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Barack from Financially Incorrect. I am here to say thank you so much for the 50k plus people who have subscribed to Financially Incorrect. We really do appreciate you. When we crossed 50k, we had a nice small intimate party at our offices and we celebrated this milestone. I have convinced the powers that be that if we can get to 100k by December, we will throw a big party to celebrate with all of you guys. And now we have 3 different segments for you guys to watch. There's Financially Incorrect Business Edition, Financially Incorrect Uganda Edition, and Financially Incorrect, the regular Kenyan edition. So please do, if you like our content, subscribe. If we get to 100k by December, we will throw the biggest party in East Africa. So please do subscribe. Hey everybody, welcome back to Financially Incorrect Uganda Edition. I am your host, Barack, and of course, it's another episode. I have another money story for you. Thanks for enjoying all the episodes that we have produced, all the content we're putting out. Please do remember to engage with us. Let us know in the comments, let us know in the DMs, let us know on Twitter who else you want us to interview. We want to come back at the end of the year and do another bunch of interviews. So please let us know what Ugandan entrepreneurs or personalities or careers, or if you know someone who has a fantastic money story that you want to hear, please do let us know. We want to record it and we want you to hear it so you can learn from it. As you know, I have another money story for you today, and I have none other than Wanda, who is the CEO and founder of Arts for Heart. He's in the entertainment industry, the creative ecosystem in Uganda, and I cannot wait to hear the story. Welcome to Financially Incorrect.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm actually excited. You guys are really good, man. So I've been running through your content lately, so it's an honor to be here.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and thank you. I mean, before we started the podcast, of course, we were chatting and he was giving us very kind words about the work that we've done. Yeah. So I really appreciate it.
Nice, good.
My first question for you is, in your morning routine, right? What's the most meaningful thing that you do that determines what your day is going to be like?
I guess it's prayer. Mm-hmm. But also prayer, one of most recently, I don't want to sit here and sound generic. You know what I mean? I've been told the way you move is a bit different. You just find a way of slipping through the cracks.
Right.
So I don't want you to check me like that. So I'll just try not to sound generic. But yeah, most recently I've been sort of focused on self-reflecting. There's a guy I listen to. I don't know if I'm comfortable mentioning his name. It's prayer, but also there's this guy I sort of listen to quite a bit now every morning. Okay, I try to. It's called Neuro Knowledge. Shout out to that brother. He's a guy that is always speaking about manifesting and manifestation and things of that nature. So I try to bring my reality as close as I can vibrationally for it to manifest physically. So every waking day is, how do I manifest what I want to see from a vibrational standpoint? So whatever can bring me close to that is what I fix on a daily basis. It's just practice. Some days are tougher than others. But that is something that has been on my mind. That's something that I've been practicing for quite a while now. Not too long, I won't lie. It's something that I just magically found, I think last year someone recommended because of how I was moving. Obviously for me it's been prayer, it's been God. So finding this additional way of thinking about life that it has a lot to do with quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, and things of that nature. It's something that I've sort of started to make sense as to what I want to see manifest physically, but it has a lot to do with how I process things on my own. And, there's a man who says the answer to the world around you is the world within you. Whenever you externalize what you're looking for, you're bound to get manipulated. Whenever you internalize it, you're enriching self. So I find that what is obstructing, or what is sort of seemingly taking me forward or taking me backward, is still on the inside. So my inability to address that is what will keep me where I'm at. And, so I practice this thing of knowing that I'm the answer I'm waiting on. So what is it that is holding me back, Yeah, so that's something that I've been practicing a lot lately, and being around people who think that way as well.
Yeah.
Which demystifies many things about life that we've been conditioned to believe is the norm, including being financially incorrect. How to drop that bar there.
Yeah. There are two things I want to ask you on that. One is, at what point in your morning routine do you do that? Like within the first hour of your morning, what are the things you're doing immediately you wake up?
I won't lie to you that it's the rhythm is mastered by, obviously it's within the first hour. That's without a doubt. Because I'm very mindful of what waking up does. In the past, I still struggle with the idea of checking a smartphone, which is not good, and I'm fully aware of that, which is also why I've sort of seemingly mastered the idea of putting the phone in the next room, in the other room.
So you don't even sleep with the phone in your room?
I try my best to put it, because obviously I am cognitively aware of what that would do for me, especially now knowing before I sleep, I have to make a promise to myself. And I've also most recently understood the impact of going by what you condition your mind to do. So if you let your mind down consistently, that's what sort of leads you into depression and so on, because I know what that morning, I could affect myself, the entire routine of my day, by what I check on the phone. I mean, I'm checking the phone, I'm saying all these things, and it's like, what? This guy has done what? He has been where? With who? You know what I mean? And that's just the first hour of the morning. So that means you're already starting off the wrong foot. And obviously, this whole concept of also putting my phone in dark mode, and if, say, I'm still, because I still know that morning when I pull out the phone, whether it's in the first hour or the next 30 minutes, it still might affect the rhythm of my day depending on how so checking the phone, I try to my best to create a discipline around it, but most importantly, it's listening to those, I don't want to call them affirmations. They might sound a bit too
bit shallow.
Self-help.
Yeah.
But this is really what I like to give me the rhythm.
Okay.
I'm also trying to understand this whole yoga, quencher. Sorry, pardon me, but yeah.
Okay. The second question I had was, can you give me an example, like a practical example, where you woke up and within your morning routine, it goes perfectly and you're manifesting whatever your day is going like, and you have I guess as close to perfect a day that you possibly envisioned or manifested?
Like one in particular?
Yeah. If you, like one example of a day that was like, yeah, this was as good a day as it could get based on what I wanted, or I thought about or manifested this morning.
Well, I mean, there must have been a couple of those, but most recently there's a day where I had to sort of meet two separate government entities, pitching this whole production around the whole utilizing the algorithm, which is a relatively new concept for our people. We're trying to understand this whole thing of social media and so on, digital marketing. So yeah, I remember this one day, like a week ago or so, the night before I slept, and I pictured the whole thing pen out, because in my mind, the night before is when I was making the presentation. So vibrationally, I was manifesting this thing. And it was very interesting seeing it just fall in place the next day, getting into these rooms with these people who are seemingly detached from this reality, but having to get blown away by the presentation. And it's like, what? But it's almost like I was seeing it just unfold itself from what I envisioned the night before I slept, which shows me a lot of power resides on the inside. It's almost spiritual in a way.
So as you're giving that presentation, are you then feeling and you're, I guess, almost reliving what you pictured the night before?
It's almost like I was
Do you have
reliving.
more confidence? Are you speaking with
Yo,
more?
you walk in that room, my G, it's like, I'm here. Everything about it is just like, now I'm just replaying. So it's almost like there's no uncertainty of, I have questions and no. Please, Mr. Wanda, do you like to tell us that? You just start. Yeah. And the reactions are just effortless. You're just seeing this I don't want to call them, but you know.
Yes.
These guys are like, still say, what? So, young man, now what do we need to do? Because it's a very serious matter. You see all those old guys going about, young man. Can we meet after, there's that type of, approach. And in the past, it was really a tough one because part of that manifesting is also being mindful of how they might perceive. And obviously, you don't want to be them, this current the Gen Zs and the ones below the
alphas.
The alphas, and then we seemingly have this false sense of entitlement. But because we feel like we have all this data this data right in front of us, we feel that we're smarter than these old guys that, first of all, call the shots, they own the bread. So you want to get into those rooms and show them you're smarter than them. And yet you have to understand the laws of power, how to walk into that room and massage a few egos in there and so on. So that also is a thing that I think I struggled with in the past. I had this sense of entitlement where I'd walk in a room and say, now ask this generation, and they would look at you like, this young man is just playing around. Please, next. They threw you out the room. So you had to. So part of the manifesting is also understanding the other perspective of how they might perceive and how you get in there and show them respect, and whether they've done the job or if they've not done the job, that's entirely a whole different thing. But walking in there and so I think that manifesting has been a very key part because journaling, you sit down, you literally just sort of play out this movie, right? Like you're on your Scorsese vibe. You're just there, literally planning the whole, film. And then it's very objective. It's not too much emotional. You think more rationally, and it's more informed. You've invested more into that, and it's also practice, right? And also in the area of what I know I've invested in the past couple of years, to be honest. So you don't want to get into that room and you're sounding a bit too sketchy. Yeah. So it's being warm but competent. A balance between both worlds.
I get what you mean.
The warmth is very important, not necessarily the competence. Here we're, from a traditional standpoint, we're very.
Right.
I don't know if you've learned Uganda in the past, but we are very banange, sebo nyabo, and jebale. Before you start the whole boom, 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 me, I came here, I have 10 degrees and 5 masters and what? We don't want none of that. Those guys don't want none of that. So actually, this country, we're not really into all that. When you come and swing your hands, we're like, okay, please, next.
Okay.
So, it's quite interesting.
Okay.
The manifesting bit.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Arts for Hearts. What's the company about? What is it that you guys do?
Right. Arts for Hearts is really a company that is focused on helping people understand their whole creative capacities. It has been majorly focused on creators as we know them, painters, poets, filmmakers, artists, and so on. It's been in existence for quite a while now, though it started a bit too slow because evidently the creative space in our country is quite an interesting one. Very turbulent, to be honest. We struggled with the idea of helping people understand how you can actually earn and expound the idea of being a creator in this country, in the creative economy, which is something that has been changing the past couple of years. That's why you see the copyright law trying to be put in place. I don't know how competent that will be, but there's a lot of things that are happening behind the curtains that is sort of designed to help the creators, have a more leverage. So it's been very tough in the past, to the point that I would sit with a couple of creators and we talk about how we're going to change the world and how we're storytellers and the whole thing. but we're all struggling. And you can't really come out and say, okay, guys, and you're meeting every once in a while, and there's a bunch of really dope poets, spoken word artists, a bunch of young actors and actresses, a bunch of musicians and so on, dancers and so on, and you're telling them how, you're giving them all these facts, but there's no evidence that suggests that things might change, you know? We live in a country where there's been 3 guys who are artists that have run the creative industry for a long time. Pretty sure you're quite aware, you know who these people are. And, one of them is also has become very stubborn as to now he's now competing with the Dons. Shout out to him. That's actually one of the things that has shown the people how potent being a creator means, especially for our people, because they relate with this particular person. So, yeah, it became very tough in the inception, and I won't lie. Then obviously it came to life right after I came back from the UK and came back home, and I'm trying to find the need. I see the need for creators having a home or a place to belong. But the past couple of years were really, really turbulent because we're all there sat down with dope work, but nowhere to take the art. You meet these pioneers and they tell you they had to walk miles and miles to take their CD from one shop from one radio to the next radio, and how they have to go buses to go to Kenya, and they had to, like, if you sat down with these guys, their stories will just make you lose hope. That's why they really feel the need to, now I'm here. Now things are now sort of falling in line. I won't let go because I'm now finally starting to make money off my art that I invested so much in the past.
Yeah.
So it was really turbulent, but fast forward, especially post-COVID, why did it sort of start to seemingly change? Is because personally, I felt like I had to run on my own. When there's one of those meetings where you're sat down with all these people and there's no example.
Yes.
Like you just sat down there.
There's no one who's gone ahead of you for you to figure out, to follow that path.
To follow that path. Everyone is there, speaking good English, speaking, it's like, different guys, and there's nothing being done. You guys have nice work, but there's nowhere it's going. I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I think I need to run and show that it's possible. You can actually get somewhere. I didn't know how far I could run, which is why really COVID was a good time for me. I didn't even anticipate COVID, but COVID was one of the best moments of my life because everyone was on the socials. So it should have been the power of the algorithm. And I think I was properly prepared for that time. I remember even releasing a couple of projects musically. I released mixtapes. I used to release freestyles every day. I used to do a couple of small acting things here at the farm. And so I also understood many things about how to communicate artistically. But most importantly, how to utilize the algorithm.
Right.
In how to propagate a narrative and so on.
Okay. If you could summarize that that phrase for me, how to utilize the algorithm, like in 2 minutes, what is that? How do you utilize the algorithm based on your experience?
One, I feel like obviously all of it is predicated on curating. You have the power to tell a story if it's properly curated. The good thing with art, I remember I watched a documentary and I think T.I. said an artist has the ability to do a song in 3 minutes that would take a teacher a year on a blackboard, right? And I seemingly started to understand how to pack so much into 1 minute, but if properly curated, which has a lot to do with the post-production and so on. But the algorithm is not emotional. The algorithm is, you got good work, it moves around. Back in the day, you'd have to know every DJ, every radio guy, every TV guy. It was sort of like, you had to be everyone's friend and sort of beg to get an interview.
For them to give you airplay
and so on,
for you to be seen, right?
Social media now is like, once you have a very good storytelling ability and you can pack so much in a way that keeps the audience very captivated, which is properly curated, then you have the eyebrows, which ultimately now gives you the leverage to step into these big media houses that are sort of seemingly starting to wear off, because traditional media is, okay, I know in Africa we still have a long way to go, don't get me wrong, but when you have people getting hundreds and thousands of views on social media, that's quite some power, you know? And yeah, I think the algorithm has heavily contributed to where I'm at today. Because I'm not now, I mean, you could literally use a smartphone to do anything.
Yeah.
You don't need the lights and all these things. I mean, I just watched a film that was done with Apple just the other day. Stormzy did a whole short film, 20-minute film using iPhone 16, you know? And so when you understand that much power that you possess, you can literally do anything. And coupled with the idea of creating art that can transcend geographically, which I think now starts to make sense on a monetary scale because now you're not enslaved by your geography, right? So these are things that you start to learn by doing them because your environment can seemingly, you know, affect your ability to see far.
Okay.
Because being a creator, again, like right now, being a creator in this country is now starting to make sense.
Okay.
Then it did not make sense, I won't lie to you. We're very polarized, we're one of the most diverse countries in the world, one of the youngest in the world. And that means your art has to seemingly appeal to like if I'm going to northern Uganda, in my mind, I have to know who to speak to and how to speak to them. If you're going to the East, you're not speaking to them like you're speaking to them down here in Kampala, right? So you have to, it's more work than just being a good writer or a good actor or a good singer-songwriter. You have to know how to, there's a guy who gave me that advice, some guy called George the Poet. I don't know if you're familiar with the name. Is one of the biggest, I think, spoken word artists in the world. He's Ugandan, but he's based in the UK. And he kept saying, for you to really become a good storyteller, you have to be politically, educated. You have to know about your geography, what's going on. So it's almost like politics in a way.
Yeah.
Now, when you sit down with other people down here who are creators and are doing incredibly well on the charts, I don't even know about the charts because recently I was having a chat with a big Nigerian podcaster and media guru who is based in the UK. It's called Adesope. He had come to launch Bebe Cool's album. And we're checking the top 20 songs consumed in Uganda. At the time, there were only 2 songs that are Ugandan on the top 20 of our own, charts, which is very disheartening, So that tells you where we currently are. But then there's opportunity again. That's what I'm saying.
The opportunity.
There's a lot of opportunity in that chaos.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And ask, where did all of this start for you? Was it a passion that you had as a kid? Did you always want to get in the creative industry when you were, or what did you say as a kid? You know how you're asked, what do you want to be? And you say, I want to be XX. What was your answer? I
guess for me, it had a lot to do with me feeling like I was different. So I always knew that there was something different about me, which as I grew older became a problem because it got me into major depression and anxiety because I felt that need to want to step out of the norm. And I was not prepared for that. But I always, from childhood, actually literally before I left for, traveled to study, I always felt that there was something different about me, but I didn't know what exactly it was. I mean, I liked the music, I used to look up to the Lil Waynes at the time, the Jay-Z's and them, but I didn't know because I was in school, I was never the guys that would perform in front of the stage. I was the backbenchers, the guys that would cause the chaos at the back, but never at the forefront.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it sort of fast forward manifested when I was abroad and I met a couple of guys who were doing the whole music and film, who actually happened to be Ugandan.
Right. Before you even go abroad, would you say that you were privileged financially in I guess, the context that you grew up in Uganda?
Nah. Okay. I was fortunate enough to came from the middle class, single mom. She did the best she could with 3 kids, and we had a very extended family. We had our home was just like one of them ones that people would come from the villages to come and study at home and so on. So it was not as privileged as people might think. I'm privileged in a way that I probably went to the good schools. And that's a vow that my mom made even when she almost died, when she was very, very ill. She made sure that at least her kids had the best education. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to my mom. She's still alive, and I do contact with my mom, which is something that has been blown over on social media. Me and my mom have this. My mom is also a very good actress. She didn't even know it. Like when you put a camera in front of her, she just gets into character and instantly. So yeah, she privileged.
What did she do for work that allowed her to, as a single mom, be able to educate all three of you and educate you guys at the best of schools?
She had she had a boutique, she had a supermarket at the time. That's really what she had to make things happen. So she moved from the boutique at some point and focused on the supermarket and farming as well. Those are the things that really sort of got us to. It was tough for her, I can't lie. It was really, really tough. I don't even see it as she had something set that was just, releasing money. I've seen guys who go that I used to release. Sometimes we're tough. For not as tough, obviously, but yeah, it was tough.
Did she ever talk to you guys about money? Did she ever discuss money with you guys at all?
How conversations were very, at the time, in hindsight, were very fear-based. You need to save, you need to save, you need to save. Okay, I've been hearing this all my life. What does that even mean? Because obviously, most is caught than is taught. What I'm seeing vis-a-vis what you're telling me, are completely, what's going on here?
What is it that you were seeing that was different from what you were saying?
I'm seeing my mom literally, she's trying, man. There's no liberty I don't even know what she's saving at this point. Because she's trying to make sure that she holds the fort the best she could. And I think it shouldn't have been more about what she told us, but more about what we witnessed. So her telling us about this, at the time, these generic things about saving and spending and assets and liabilities and what seemed a bit too high school.
I'm curious. I mean, as a son and as a, I guess, would be seemingly teenager or child at that point, how did you know, how did you know that she was spending and she wasn't saving much? How was that clear to you?
I think in hindsight, it had a lot to do with, it was not clear. Let's be clear. It was not clear, but it had a lot to do with what we're saying at home. Like, I think in hindsight, it's the energy that I was, because the thing that affected us and to even my old age that I've had to combat for a long time was the fear, the uncertainty. The house was always like this. That's the best way I can put it. Like, things are about to break anytime. And while you're actually living, you're going to the schools, but you're almost like something might pop off anytime, because that's the aura, that was the energy around the house the whole time.
But did you ever have to leave school?
I think for the saving, you need the safety. There's that kind of thing of lay back, from time to time, just laying back a bit. And there was none of that at the time.
There was always like something's moving.
You have to run. We have to do this. There was so much fear, and that can cripple you in so many ways. I mean, it crippled me when I was growing up, and I had to sort of face those fears. I still do, but
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so how then do you end up traveling? How do you end up in the UK? When do you travel?
I traveled right after high school. There was an uncle of mine who partnered with my mom. Like he was close to. Now, my dad passed on as a little kid. So this uncle of mine based in the UK was cousins to my dad. And they were, I don't know if they had some sort of relationship in the past, because I was about 5 years old when the guy passed, really, to be honest, my dad. And so it's almost like he was like, man, I really need to do something for the family and so on. And, gets into the picture and just supports and says, I'm going to take your son to the UK and show him the ropes. So he lives in the UK, so that's how I got my chance, and God made it happen.
Here's why you should choose FX+ if you're in Uganda. Tight spreads and low commission. Competitive rates, free educational resources, 24/6 customer support. Oh, and did I mention fast deposits and withdrawals? Check the link in bio to register now.
Okay. So you end up there. Are you then studying there? And what's the money situation like there, even as you're living with your uncle or under his
I didn't even live with him.
Yeah.
The guy put me into, like, I stayed with some white family. Just know it was just like some quencher farm. Put me in some next joint with some white guy. I remember that was its own.
Why didn't you stay with him? From you?
I think I should ask him now, man.
Yeah.
I should give him a call and ask him, what's up, bro? But anyway, I don't know, man. I think he had a family he was trying to sort himself out as well. I don't know really. I just don't know. But he put me in this arrangement. I remember even I used to stay in a room with these young kids, in a 3-bedroom thing with young kids. Like, these are like, 12-year-old kids, 11 and 12.
And at that time,
Imagine you're moving the shift from here into that space, straight into that. I used to take walks with these little kids. I was like, how would they even get here, man? You know what I mean? So it's a very interesting dynamic. Actually, thinking back, as I've never processed this. Now that I'm talking about it now, it's just that you've taken me back to that time. But yeah, I went into school. He managed to sort of help me out the first year.
So like, would he come and see you like on the weekends?
Yeah, he would. Because we lived in Bristol, and he lived in Bristol as well. And Bristol is quite small. So you meet up and you have a chat, every now and again you meet a charge, So obviously, like the first, even while I was with that family, the white family, he still would come and, He helped me out the first couple of, then also had to now start to work. He told me, bruh, this is not KLA where you're on vibes full time. You have to make ends meet here. So that was also a very tight one because I was not prepared for the type of work that came, at that time, And so I remember times I would do 2 jobs and sometimes 3 jobs in a day. It was quite tough, to be honest. The adjustment, it took me a while to adjust.
Yeah.
But part of it he would pay, part of it I'd have to pay from the work.
And what about the white family? Financially speaking, what's happening with the family? How, because you're living in their house, so are you meeting your bills or your costs in their house, or?
For the first 4 or 5 months, they met the bills because they were close to him. I think they actually were the ones that helped him go to the UK at the time.
In the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he told him, my son is coming, this, that, and that, So the first couple of months, I remember I didn't even make a year at that place, but that was sort of my safe landing.
Okay.
Bring our son, and brought me into the space and gave me 5 months. And then, actually I didn't even pay any bills at that place, to be honest. I started to pay when I left the place, because that's when I started to now find my feet as far as working and making things happen.
Yeah.
But for them, as financially they were doing, this is a white folk in a very decent neighborhood. The home was not too bad, I'm actually grateful that that was my safe landing. Many people have devastating.
It's a lot harder.
Guys get into trenches. From here, you're coming from a trench to another trench. So I'm glad I didn't go into another trench. So yeah.
All right. So even when you're moving, then where do you move to? And what's the plan at this point? Because for me at this point, it's not clear what exactly the plan is there.
So now, even in this time, I meet now creators. I meet with people from Uganda that are into the music and are starting to they do music, they do a bit of acting here and there, but majorly music. So as I'm studying,
Studying at university?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's meeting the university cost?
No, the first year was my uncle.
Okay.
Then the second year he had to pay half and I had to put some together as well. So during that time I met these Ugandan guys who are into the music. They'd been in the UK for a while. So they started to show me the ropes. I remember going to studio whenever I had free time and they would take me to studio and I really, really enjoyed the whole process of making music. And thankfully I was in the UK because if I was in Uganda, there's no chance, there's no way I'd do these things, because where I come from, they view people like us like we're mad, So I find these people and they start to show me how to make the music and they were very welcoming, particularly one guy actually who really put me on. I'm actually indebted to that guy. So he starts to show me how to make the music and so on. And then fast forward, I go and chart my first song, which was rubbish, but nonetheless, I enjoyed hearing myself on the other side of the speaker. But I had this hunger and the good thing is these people are actually good at what they do. But it was also tough for them to break through in the UK because it's also a bit cagey, that side as well.
Right.
But at least they instilled that in me. So we just started to make music like that. I started to learn. We started to delve into this whole podcasting thing. We're very bent on like Hot 97, Breakfast Club, 106 and Park, all these things. Like we're very steeped into the whole entertainment space.
Yeah.
I started to work with them at some point. At some point I would do this with small gigs at a bakery, a Jewish bakery, and would go there and work, but while talking about the whole entertainment space and being a creator and how we can tell stories and so on. So yeah, that's what really helped me, sort of start to pick interest into this whole creative space.
Okay. So in year 2, when you're saying you're now meeting half the cost of your fees, what's your money situation? Like how much you said you're working 2 jobs. How much are you making? How much of that are you putting into the fees? How much of that are you putting into your living expenses?
So I was making it about, let's see, about £250, £300 a week. And some of that, the second year I didn't really pay half, I won't lie to you. My uncle still did quite a bit of it,
yeah.
But the expenses, the second year was calm in a way because about £300 a week from the 2 jobs plus a school. So expenses would take about 100, everything. So I'd sort of spare about 200, per week. And I managed to accumulate quite a bit, just as much as I could to contribute to my fees. And also, from time to time, I'd send some back home here. I was not really, in hindsight, I didn't have the freedom to invest like we were. As soon as you go to the UK, they tell you, boss, any money you get, send back home. Any money you get, send back home. I didn't really have the liberty to do that because I had to make ends meet at school. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd spare. It was about thereabouts, like about £300 a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you get into I assume you're doing a three-year degree. So when you get into your 3rd year, you're now paying a bit more of your own fees and stuff.
Right. Yeah, just a bit.
And how much are the fees per year?
It's about 9K.
£9,000 per year.
Yeah.
Okay, so in total you spent about 27?
Yeah.
27.
27,
£27,000 for the whole year. Yeah. Okay. But year 3 is more or less, in terms of the money you're making and your living expenses, it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same.
Okay.
But he still contributed. My uncle still helped me out.
Still helping you out.
Because obviously now I started to get into the whole music space. I started to invest into that.
Yeah.
So we're releasing a few things here and now where we at some point we bought equipment that didn't really go well. That also crashed. It was part of the learning curve for me. One of the guys played us. So.
How so? What was the situation? Right.
Just know the guy. One time we came back and nothing was there.
All the equipment you had bought, it wasn't there anymore.
And we suspect that he had something to do with it. But that's what actually the thing that I was really excited about, putting that little money that I had acquired into this thing. And
how much do you think you'd lost?
Because it was like 5 people put together. There was quite some money involved in that project. And obviously the place it was in was a place called Easton. Easton was majorly Somali, Jamaican. And seeing the excuses that things were stolen and whatnot, but we suspected that this guy had something to do with it.
It didn't make sense.
So it really dealt us. Yeah. And that was like, after I'm done with uni and I'm trying to put things together. That's something I was actually saving for at the time.
Yeah. How do you then decide to come back? Coming
back was now a tricky one. Coming back, I get detained.
You get detained. What? First of all, there must be something you've done to get detained for starters.
Whenever I say this story, it's funny, man. I get detained. It's like after six years. I was just with the wrong people, and I'm also now trying to chase my papers for extension. And I'm still in that Easton area. It's called Easton. And there were some guys I were looking for, and I was in that crew at that time. These guys were dealing drugs and so on. And I get caught just by being around because of the music.
Were you dealing any drugs?
No, I was not doing any
drugs. You were just
because it was the music that was putting us together with
right.
these people. And I get swept. And I'm there thinking it's going to take a week, 2 weeks, the court case, what? But it took me 4 months in detention.
You were in I don't know what the term would be, but you were in a cell, like you're in...
Like this movie, like the cells you see in the movies, bro.
You were in there.
Yeah. For 4 months, man.
Yeah.
Especially thinking it's going to take a week, 2 weeks. Nothing. 4 months. So going to court, actually that's the time I think that really changed my life because it showed me what it means to be alone.
Where was your uncle at this point?
He's there, but now he's also confused. He's telling me, I told you to not do these music things. What are you doing with this music? Like he didn't really like the idea of me doing music, to be honest. Actually, he would call my mom and tell them about me doing music. He didn't like even my own family didn't like the idea of me being a creator. They couldn't even fathom, even to this day, like, how did this guy manage to become this person, right? So yeah, I'm in detention. I'm trying to call my family. They don't understand what's going on. They cannot relate. The 2 months were particularly the worst. The last 2 were very good because I made peace with where I was at.
What does making peace with being in detention mean?
I made peace with the fact that this is now what life has dealt me, and I'm just going to... Thankfully, there was not too, like...
It wasn't too rough.
It wasn't too rough. But it was still the same setting. I mean, the first 1 month, the cell I was in was the one you see in the movie with like a decker. The decker was like half my height
right.
while sleeping.
Right.
There's a toilet down there. They would lock you in at about 7 p.m. And open up at 6 a.m. Like literally in the movies. Then the next month, they'll put you into a more comfortable space. Then the 3rd month and 4th month, you're in a more communal because of how you behave. Because if you misbehave, they might keep you in this.
This other, right.
And I remember the first time I was in a room with a Pakistani guy. Prav. Yes, no, it was quite interesting. So being in that space, taught me so many things about myself.
What kind of conversations do you have with the people who were there with you, in detention with you?
Some of them were about to get deported because of their paperwork. Some of them were... You find people who, they put you in a room, put you in spaces with people that look like you, not those guys with tats all over the... Like, not them ones,
Right.
I started to learn more about my faith. A lot more about my faith. By the people I used to hang around with. I mean, the first 2 months, I didn't want nothing to do with the faith. All I wanted to do was to leave. To go to court, fight my case, and leave. The last 2 months is when I actually started to find my faith. I found people who looked like me, sound like me, had dreams. And yeah, it was quite interesting. The first 2 months I was very alone. I didn't want to associate with anyone. I feel like these other guys had worse things than
you.
Until I found that we're all on the same boat.
So what happens in court? I
mean, the last time I went, actually that's what radically changed my life when I went into court. And this particular court, I went to court like 3 times during that time. The last one is what changed my life because, first of all, we went outside the detention center. It was called Hammondsworth. So we walk out of Hammonds, we drive out, and we go into the city. It was the first time seeing people dressed normally and what. I'll never forget how that radically changed. Like the excitement I had just seeing people dressed normal. And we went into court. Obviously, they tore me to shreds in the court because even my own lawyer just kept looking at me. She gave me that look of, bro, you're cooked, man. You're cooked, man. I remember walking out of that court knowing it's done.
What was the thing that they had on you that...
My case was not as compelling, apparently. They still said, you're the same guys, what were you doing with them, this, that, and the third. So I remember in court, I'm looking at the judge, I'm looking at my lawyer, and she's giving that look of, bro, you're cooked. And I knew my fate at that point. However, I walked in with a Nigerian guy. The Nigerian guy now also goes in. This guy comes out with so much confidence. These West Africans don't play.
Yeah.
He comes out thinking, man, mate. And we'd walk in there with guards. The guy came out with the guards saying, man, mate, I remember looking at this guy with this confidence. I'm like, what is the difference between me and this guy? I was so I was so impressed at his level of
confidence.
Like I said, I remember go back to Harmonsworth and I looked for a therapist and I remember talking to them, and not during that exchange with the therapist is when he hit me that I'm done with this whole being timid and please guys, because I was in the court doing that, like, Your Honor, you know when you can lose your voice and you can't. So for them they interpret it as me being, it's me being African and timid. Your Honor, please, we have...
What happened to the Nigerian guy?
Girl, that guy walked in that joint. First of all, he mean walking in.
Yeah.
But for me, I was impressed with how he walks out. This guy walks out with his chest out like he had fought, like he just killed those guys in court, like he had literally shot them down. I was so blown away at his confidence. And I hoped I had another chance to go into court again, which I couldn't have again. But that's really what shifted the trajectory of my life. Like, I remember going into the therapy session the next day in detention and speaking about it, and I was like, you know what, this is it. Because I walked out of that courtroom and walking out, and the things I felt I should have said and how I should have expressed myself and how I should have fought the case was completely regrettable.
Yeah.
Because I came in with
like
when it's Bazungu, you're very like, please, you don't look them in the eye.
And so you're telling me, in detention, you had therapy privileges.
You'd get that once in a while. I had booked for this prior though. Okay. Actually, it's the only time I've actually done therapy until most recently. And I didn't know it existed. I think because I had made peace with being in detention, that I needed to have some extra, someone to have a chat to and so on.
How quick after that last court session did they deport you?
It was like 2-3 weeks.
So you're in detention for another 2-3 weeks and then come back.
Those were fun.
Yeah.
That's why you're done. You're cooked. You're cooked, so you might as well just have it. You have it while it lasts. So I'm really having a good time there. I know anytime I'm coming home.
Let me ask a question on reflection on that. Knowing now that you have a record, quote unquote, does that do anything for your psyche? For example, is it something that you even disclose to people? Is it something you tell people about?
I've not really talked about it that much. I mean, I've talked about it in the music and so on, but it's not like a permanent stain. Even the court case really has a lot to do with me associating with those people at that time and the fact that I was chasing my paperwork.
So those two things.
Those two things. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really about my involvement. I mean, we had a drug test and so on, and me, I was clean, But it had a lot to do with me chasing the paperwork and so on. And these people are looking for excuses and a way to get rid of me.
Yeah.
So you've even told me first go back home and then you fight your case from back home and all that whole shenanigans and whatnot. So it's partially what contributed to that.
Okay.
And I've spoken about it in the music. And I've talked to a few people about it. It keeps, when I say I talked about it a lot when I came back. And when I came back, I was not that notable at the time. I was not a known person. So when I talk about it now, it's like, what? Wait, you aware? And to some, it makes sense as to why I have become this person.
Okay.
Why I have become an outlier. I think for lack of a better word, it's an outlier.
Okay.
It contributed heavily in me becoming this person.
Yeah. So what happens next in your financial journey now after you come back, once you've been deported?
So I've come back and that's now when the real reggae starts. The real reggae finds me now back here.
But you have your degree.
Yeah. Because now I know what I'm about. The whole creative space. But also I find God in detention. So I'm now coming in as a gospel artist. Everything gospel, but we're going to change the gospel space. We're going to bring in the whole, embrace the creatives and understand how we can market our art, how we can scale and so on. My guy, coming down here, you find the whole, the politics now in that space is even worse than what is out there. So it was very, very turbulent to convince creators to know their self-worth. That's actually how Arts for Hearts now gets birthed. Because I find very, really good skilled artists and storytellers, but they didn't really know what their worth was like. So I come in with some money, fortunately, that I managed to, I saved some calitro, we call it litro. Calitro money.
Yeah.
Come with some little money, come down here, but you use I'm using some to push my own personal projects. I'm using some to now, advocacy.
Yeah. And are you living back at home at your mom's, or are you getting your own space?
At that time, I'm at my mom's. Because she wanted to come back, what? But obviously now I'm also facing resistance that side, because now my mom is trying to tell me to leave the creative space. She's telling me, leave the music, but at some point she felt like she couldn't stop me because I found myself. So it was very turbulent at home, but obviously because I had my money, she couldn't really tell me that much. Could get by, basically.
You're not asking her for anything?
Yeah, I'm not asking her for anything. I'm paying my own bills. I'm doing my own things. Not paying bills as far as home, because home is there. But I'm getting around, I'm driving, I'm doing this, that, and the third. But I'm also in the church. And also the fact that I was at church, she was like, hey, my son, at least he might be doing this boyaye things. They call it bayaye. But at least he's in the church.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting transition. So it took a while. The money actually ran out, pushing a message that was not landing. It stayed in the air like this.
When you're saying run out, you mean your bank balance goes zero?
Zero, completely done, finished. And that's how I actually met
Christian.
I met Christian. Those ends also doing the whole pushing the videography world and what. But the conversation with the Christians and everyone was the same. Everyone is scratching. Everyone just has good and scratching.
So then what do you do? I mean, so then financially, if you're talking about getting to zero, you're talking about a message not landing, all the money you've invested is now over. Like what are you not concerned about yourself financially? And of course you're growing older, getting more mature, and there's more responsibilities and expectations of you by society. So
I'm concerned. That's actually got me into depression and anxiety, because it doesn't make sense. Like the expectations that the society has on you, family, most importantly. Your mom has made sure you leave the country, go study, and then you're coming back and you're just pushing, you're being a creator of all things. And what's the fate? Where is this going? What is this? First of all, what is this? Secondly, where is it going? And then you're in church. Church does not really support you. There's no support in the church like that, right? They can only do so much for you, yeah? I figured that out when I was in church. I thought that they would find ways of, you've performed.
Yeah.
Please, let's give you this envelope. Worth your time.
Yeah.
Nothing. They even give you less than. Christian can tell you here. You know what I mean? You can be a Harvard, you might have a Harvard degree, but you're getting the same crumbs the man from here is getting as well.
So how then are you surviving in this period where it's
tough.
Zero?
It's difficult, because at some point I've even left home. Now I'm sort of renting, and it's really, really tough. And this is like pre-COVID, just like 2018, 2019.
So I want to ask practically. So are you like talking to your landlord and saying, I don't have money, I don't have rent. When I get money, I'll pay you.
There were moments like that.
Yeah.
There were moments like that where there was no rent, and sometimes friends would bail me out. Sometimes you'd have, we have a farm, so you'd go and sort of sell 1 or 2 cows. And you know what I mean? Go and convince your mom, you tell her, please, it's the dream. Let's fight for the dream.
Yeah.
And you're pushing. Now it's a time when I'm telling you, As for Us is in existence. I'm mobilizing and bringing creators together, but we all have the same struggles. There is no money in this creative sector. You could be good. You might have all the notes. I call them Guardiola notes. You might have all the Guardiola notes to change the game, but bro, you're still playing it. You're scratching. So at that time, just before COVID, I say, you know what, I'm going to run on my own, even with the expenses I have to deal with, because it's really dark for me. To the point that I lost so much weight. I got into I remember one time I went to a friend of mine's home, and their mom asked them if I was on drugs and if I was suicide or something like that. My cheekbones were hanging out like flipping hangers and so. And for me, I didn't even know at the time this is what I was dealing with. I don't know if at that time Christian was seeing me. I don't know, but I was a dead man walking with just a dream. But the dream, a heavy dream, that's the worst thing about one of the worst things is being misunderstood. When you know in your mind there's a dream. I even one time broke up with a girlfriend of mine. That's what crushed me the most.
Because she didn't believe in your dream.
At first I was like, hang on, we've been together for like a year. all of a sudden now you don't believe in me.
It's fine.
She took me to a restaurant. We had to sit down. We had lunch. It's like, babe, you know this thing of yours. I've talked to my family about it. What? I remember looking at this chick and I knew this film was going to play out. I saw it play out itself, but I didn't know how I was going to react to it.
Let me ask you, based on the interactions that I've had with a few ladies here in Kampala, I don't want to say there's an expectation, but it seems like there is an expectation for men to be providers and for men to take care of men to take care of women. And so I'm curious, in this period, even when you have how did you even get the girlfriend? Because it seems like it's almost
but to be the way I've told you, I think the way I've told you the story is like I had nothing. I might have to scratch it. Please cut all that stuff in the post.
Yeah. So like, how are you? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how are you surviving? How are you?
First of all, that girl was a real G.
A real G.
A real G, man. She was not them ones of a man should do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Nah, she was a real one. Like I remember the first time we started to date. I picked her from church, and we're driving in my car.
Few.
Okay, why am I even saying this stuff on camera, man? Why am I doing this to myself?
Tell me, what happened?
I was told you, man, you know how to finesse mans, but you really got me there, man. Bro.
You have to finish the story.
I was with with two guys in the car and her and some friend of ours. Bro, we pushed that ride.
She.
Yeah. Bro, that's when I said this is a real one.
Yeah.
This is a real one. Unfortunately, she turned out not to be a real one.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to give her credit. That's something.
Anyway, respect to her.
That's something.
Mad love, because
that is something.
The chick worked out that thing.
Yeah, and pushed.
But the good thing was that all we had to do was, you know when the thing was right, like in the valley.
Right.
So we're just up here like this, just had to push from like this.
And then it goes.
Bang the thing in neutral, get in there and just.
And then get to a petrol station.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Okay.
Yeah. How we managed, bro, looking back, I don't even know.
It's one of those things where
I don't want to sit down here and lie to you. I don't know. I just don't know. But I remember even before the breakup, we had to sort of stop talking for a while. Now that phase of not talking for like 2-3 weeks is what now made her reflect and think, no, something is not right here. I think I might have to let this guy go. And yeah, she had to cut ties.
It's fair. I mean,
she severed those ties, but man, shout out to you. You did the thing.
That's fair. So when do things begin to change for you? Financially, when do things?
Let me not lie to you, man. Post-COVID.
Yes.
Post-COVID, I start to now become a known figure in a way.
You're saying, like you say, you were releasing those freestyles every day.
No, I had to now take the gospel type, that car.
Yeah.
Because man, everywhere you'd walk on your gospel, it's like, you say, guys, I'm a gospel artist, and guys just start to walk away. It's like, guys, please, let's go. First come here. Hey, my name is Wadaja, gospel. Hey, before you even finish gospel, guys are walking away. It's like, guys, what's up? Please, come on, be reasoned.
What's the issue with that?
There's a negative connotation to it. I don't know why I used to see guys in the past talk about it. It really, really disturbed me. But to be honest, I think it's because of I don't know what it is, but there's a way people have been traumatized by our poor projection of the gospel. That the stereotypes attached to it are very nasty. So, are bad. And also that false sense of entitlement. Everyone else who doesn't align with your beliefs is a devil. There's Lucifer. And also that it's not marketable. That's the truth.
It's difficult.
Because I am, right now, still ministering the best way I know how. I'm using the gospel on my tools.
You just don't have the title.
I just don't have that title, right? Because especially when you have that title, you're speaking all this English. In a country like this, it's like, guys, we don't have time for all this. The guys who make it big in the gospel space, are guys who perform in in those villages down. You know, when you can both do it in the mainstream and do it. We actually have, I'll tell you, gospel artists in this country, at least there might be like 3 or 4 that are on that level, no? 3 or 4 that are actually making money, if I were to put it that way. Because they have the ability to make it in the mainstream and
then
even the church. And the churches, I'm talking about churches deep down in the villages and so on. So yeah, I think, that's what really...
So do you remember the day when or the period when things start changing? Because, okay, so we know you take away the gospel title. It's almost like a business decision. But do you remember the feeling or what was happening when you start to realize, okay, maybe there's a bit more money in my pocket. Maybe now the cogs are changing, right? Or the wheels are moving.
It started to change when, obviously at that time, I'm now putting out a lot of content. Fortunately, also, this is now when the corporate world is now starting to embrace storytellers. Then I also now get into the acting. And I get a very big role on some Pearl Magic TV series. That's now when things start to, like a bank account now starts to at least.
Looks like it makes sense.
It was on ice. Now it starts to warm up a bit, you know?
That's to defrost.
It starts to defrost. But what's pissing me the most is that, bro, these are dreams you've had for a long time. But for them to actually physically manifest, especially in the environment you're in, because again, you just talked about the girls that you've had on the show and their expectations of men. And being in a space where you're trying to bring in new ideas, which are going to be met with resistance, is tough. So you're dealing with that, and then on top of that, you have a title that people dislike. So it's almost like everything was working against me. And also now, on top of that, I'm a creator, and people that come from where I come from don't do this thing. It's almost like even the creative space has been politicized. So you find that we're very tribalistic. So for that, by the time people started to accept me in the mainstream, because, okay, I don't know if I should go that route, but it's almost like people don't, I don't know how to say it, man.
Just say it. Yeah.
You know, one time I had a chat with a very big artist. I don't know if I'm at liberty to mention his name. He's actually now, he's been given a role by the government, by the big man, our president, to sort of lead the creatives. And the region in which he comes from, he one time walks up to me at a function, it was a wedding, and he tells me that, boss, the way I got attacked because of the way I looked and being in the creative space, I don't know about you. He literally tells me that. He says, I don't know about you and the way you look being accepted in the creative space. Fortunately, the time he told me that, my mind was already made up. If he had told me that like a couple of years before, that I could have probably be a farmer now with the cows, you know. But he tells me this when I've already made up my mind. It's that bad. So again, now that I had to inform how I package my art. You see, this is the thing about being a creator, especially here. Curating, like I told you. I now have to sort of understand how everyone
So what do you need
thinks.
to do differently? Is it the way
You have to
you
invest
talk?
in being a student. You have to be like a sponge. You have to dip yourself in every experience. You have to know that you don't know. So whether I'm in the ghetto, like I do this project we're doing now in the ghetto, like we're doing a documentary in the ghetto, in the ghettos around Kampala. You have to go and think like them. If I'm saying, most recently, there's a documentary bit that was done by Netflix, and I was selected to speak on that documentary. Think like those people. Like the ability to, right? To balance both worlds is very important as a storyteller.
So I understand what you're saying theoretically. I want to see if you can give me something practical that would really deepen my understanding because obviously I'm not aware of all the nuances in Uganda and the cultural differences. And so I want to figure out what is it that you need to do for them to accept you as a whole. Is it like you say, you speak differently?
Yeah. Language has a huge role to play. And also obviously, let's not talk about, the whole generic bit, the branding, the image and what. But then it's almost like politics in a way. Also understanding that I had to also now learn that I'm a leader in a way as well. That's something I grappled with for too long. But language, say I'm in Kamocha, in the real ghettos, there's a way those people process things. There's a way they speak. The slang, the words. So before you turn on the camera and you do your image and come off as Wonder JR, here you've already done the groundwork. Storage, you have to even come in with the whole, you have to
You have to move like...
You have to move like them, you have to show them maximum respect just for them to embrace you as...
So if you do it in your natural way, whatever that would be, they would not.
No, here's the thing about natural. I've always been a guy that loves the community. I used to escape from home when I was a child to go and hang with people in the community, right? So I love what happens down here. I feel like most of my songs and freestyles have been done in the ghetto. So I love the community. So it's genuinely a place that I love, to be honest. And I'm privileged that they can accept me even despite of the differences. They will know that you don't belong here. You're not from the trenches, bro. But we accept you in the trenches. You know what I mean? So they will embrace you and they know that you have good intentions. They know that you're looking out for them. And you're championing them. There's a thing we do call the slumdog giants. We're going to look for giants in the community, whether it's financial literacy. We found people down, actually, ironically here, around this area, deep down, you're in the fancy part, but I think you see the contrast. Just down the gate there's the ghetto. You know what I mean? So you'll go into deep parts down there and you'll find people who are getting books. There's stuff we've done on YouTube and so on. Mothers that are bringing in community members and having financial literacy, they're writing down, they're having saving book. They get like $1 a day that they put together and so on. You find people who are doing recycling, people who are doing, there's a whole water tank project happening down here in Kamocha, where a bunch of youth are mobilizing some money and putting tanks together for the single mothers and so on to have clean water. So for you to communicate with them and sound like them has a lot to do with, you have to invest in how they think. Now the challenge we have is because us, we're very entitled, like I told you earlier. You find that our country is very polarized. The people who are scholastically bent to carry this country to the next level are completely oblivious with what's happening in the country. The majority don't relate with the guys that have the tools, especially the young ones. And that's something that I feel like we need to learn. And then you find our leader has that ability to do that. That's what actually put him into power in the first place, his ability to connect with everyone. So that connecting bit, the inclusivity, the relatability is a key component in how you pass on what you're doing. So you have to invest so much into
that process.
Immersing yourself and being humble and the energy you give them, because they can tell. And all these people want is respect. They will know you don't look like them. You don't suffer with the same things they suffer with. But as long as you have the best interest and you're supporting them, you're giving back to them, you're telling their stories to the world, then there. And then ultimately what that does, it starts to inform your art. So now you find that previously I was making this whole cool rap thing, I came off that whole Kendrick, Drake, all that, Quench and whatnot. You know what I mean? And so you're doing that. And you find that, in your WhatsApp group, you only have a few bunch of guys. Oh man, what are you so, bro? What was that? Take it. But there's no money in the bank. And then you just adjust. Start speaking Luganda, Runyankole, put in a bit of maybe Swahili here and there. Even if it means having someone help you, put that together. Fortunately, I started to collaborate with some guys called the Umoja Sounds, based in Kenya. And if you might know them, Provoke and them. And so you start to immerse and add all that stuff into your art form. So you find that and then you maintain the cadence of what you're doing, because I don't know if you've had a song where a guy is good at, for example, Swahili, and then the flow is impeccable. And then they speak English and he has a deep. I was like, man, that song was good, but there was something not right about it. Because the guy, the accent he was trying to use just dipped the song. So now maintaining the cadence of the song is also very important, which is something I love about, say, calligraph and so on. So those are things you have to understand, separating the thematics in your art. So it's a lot of work, basically. It's more than just being a good creator. You almost have to immerse yourself and be a student all over again. So that's what I had to do.
I get what you mean.
And it's an ongoing
That makes a lot of
process.
sense. Yeah.
So whether I'm dealing with a guy who is a border guy, or I'm dealing with someone from the first family, I have to go with the mindset of learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you mean.
I hope it's very comprehensive.
Now I've understood. Now I've understood. So I want to come back to your money journey and where things have now started opening up, and now you have an acting. You're now acting, and you have a TV series. What, for my understanding, what are actors paid like here? What are the rates that people? What's a good actor getting? What's an average actor getting? And
Could this guy laughing?
before you even said anything,
The guy is dead. First of all, I don't even know if I'm at liberty to speak about this, but just know what I'll tell you is that role they gave me, first of all, they gave me...
I'm not even asking about your role. Okay, so you'll tell me about your role. But I'm saying now, beyond your role, what's a general actors making in this country?
Wait, do you know any general first? He's lying now. First, cut him out, man.
Yeah.
Bro, cut that out, bro. But you're saying exposure because exposure is a real thing out here, man. You're paid exposure on so many levels. But there are big actors that have been around for a while. And I think what shifted the trajectory was when this idea of DSTV came into the fold, especially during COVID. And that's one of the TV shows that actually got me on board, and they gave me a huge role as my debut, which I'm entirely grateful for. Shout out to Prestige. But on average, I cannot really tell you. It's
You can't tell me something.
I'd say I'm not really sure about the films yet. Like
right, like movies.
Because I mean, we have people who have done these big movies, the Queen of Katwez and the Last King of Scotland from Uganda. Those ones are one-offs, so I think their paycheck is a bit different. But the ones that are very consistent, that I think, in my understanding, that have been paying well, are the ones that have been on DSTV. So you find like maybe a lead actor, for example, could get in the region of like, say what? About 5K?
5K. Give me UGX. Give me UGX.
Okay, UGX, let's say about 20-25 mil.
For the whole...
No.
Oh. That's a month?
Us, they would pay us every 2 months.
Okay, every 2 months. Okay.
Yeah.
It's about 25 million. What's that just for my context? I obviously I wanted UGX because this show is for Ugandans.
Yeah.
But for me to understand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But so now at this point in time, when you get into the role.
Because I remember one of the ladies told me that
Yeah.
who I was working with on the show. That we're on.
Yeah.
She'd say every 2 months she'd get about
25 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was a bit of a, what do you call it? Expenses and fuel and so on. So you'd sort of get to that level.
900K Kenya shillings. Okay.
So like in a month, it's like what? Like
That's 450K Kenya shillings. So
like 10, 11 a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now what do you start doing with the money that you're getting?
Again, I'm pouring back into my art space as well. Again, so it's almost like, hey, there's some fuel now.
The car's not stalling anymore.
Hey, some fuel. Not even for the car alone. For just to, galvanize. Just the machine now has some car oil to run it.
Right, right.
And also now there's the voices there. You have people now saying the visibility. And so you're getting this money, and it's not a lot, but at least it's now putting you on. It's running the machine again. So yeah, I think that's what really allowed me. And then also now the corporate brands now come into the fold. So you're working with brands because of the visibility online. Because again, as a result of running the machine, also this time has come now where these big brands are sort of untethering from traditional media. So now they are looking for storytellers. No, but this is just in the inception of it.
Right.
Now it's a bit different. Obviously nowadays, the big brands are now really focusing so much on storytellers. So yeah, I think it helped. That money was bent on running the car, fueling the dream again, bringing it back to life and adding more of the aesthetic to it, and But this is a result of so many years of work.
Yeah. But at this point in time, you're not in debt anymore. You're no longer having conversations with the landlord.
This is not as bad, to be honest. Actually, debt has not really been a thing I've struggled with, to be honest. somehow things just happen.
But you're not being bailed out anymore by friends. You're not being...
That bailing out thing, my guy, was just the most annoying rubbish.
Yeah.
Because people are seeing you as the guy, but you're not the guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like society thinks you're the guy, but
what
you're
were
not
those
the guy.
conversations like? So
Because I think that's really what's really what affected me, is because society thinks you have it figured out, but bro, you're financially incorrect, man.
what are those conversations like? Like when you're talking to your friend and asking them to bail you out.
That's what I'm telling you. Even how to craft that is just embarrassing in its own way, because in their minds, I grew up with this thing of, man, I wonder, bro, man, you're the guy, what? Before you're looking at them like, well, first cut all that rubbish. First bail me out, man. I am not Kawa. I'm not okay. I need some help. I need to pay my rent. I need to first even chill this whole idea of trying to fuel the dream. At this point, it doesn't even make sense. I just need to get by. And so that dual thing affected me, because the expectations vis-a-vis what was
The reality
was disheartening. So I grappled with that on the inside, and it got me disturbed. It affected my health. I didn't even know at the time, but I lost so much weight.
Yeah.
I was unstable. Yeah.
So right now, if we say, like, we look at Wanda, like the company, like how do you make money? What are the different ways you make money right now?
So now, as for us, like I told you, post-COVID, like most recently is when the company now started to come to life. When I've been doing a couple of brand deals for content creation.
Okay, so you have the brand deals.
Yeah. We're now doing production. Most recently, we're working on a very big project where we're doing a project about restorative farming, restoring the savannas through these new methods of farming. So we're handling a very big production.
It's like a documentary that you're shooting.
Exactly.
Okay.
A countrywide thing. We're doing partnerships with I can't talk about stuff on here, but just know there's some partnerships projects are coming into life.
Yeah.
Part of which I told you about one of those days where the manifesting came to life.
Yes.
Yeah. So
are you still acting?
I'm acting.
You're still acting.
I'm
so
acting.
That's also another revenue stream.
I've not had any project the past, like, say, 2 years. I've been doing, but we're doing our own short film, which are launching. So I haven't. I'm hoping to have a massive. In fact, I don't know. You should just give me some Kenyan links in there when you get a chance.
Yeah.
See if I can audition. Though my Swahili is not all that, but
yeah,
give it a shot. But yeah, acting is something definitely up there.
We
do acting. We still do skits. I am very strong. If you check my socials.
Yeah.
You do a lot of skits and so on.
Okay.
But acting is definitely up there. So we're doing a short film, and hopefully next year we'll do a sort of another short film as well with our own in-house sort of, thingy. Yeah. So
for Art for Hearts, have you gotten to a point where you can pay yourself a salary from the company?
Now things are, steerable. Yeah. Okay. Things are now steerable, you know what I mean? Now you're getting paid from the company.
Yeah. And then you have the brand deals.
The legals, you have the whites. Things are now, it's
fantastic.
You can smile now.
Okay.
And so it's been.
But how many years, like if you think about it, how many years has it been before you could smile about the money you have in your account? Yeah.
It's been years. It's been toiling. It's been too much. Like, I met creators who walk up to me and they're like, how have you managed? I know now the thing that makes sense to them, there's a whole conspiracy. They think I am from, it's almost like how you have to keep cutting things. Some people think I'm from the first family. That's the only thing that makes it logical for them because of how I look and so on. Which is not the thing, to be honest. For them, okay, we tend to want to make sense of what, like, yeah, this guy is from, that's the only thing that makes sense. But then at the same time, the guy is actually quite good. So then, so it's taken a long time, a very, very long time. Imagine from the time I came back, and I'm just telling you now is when the company has found its feet.
Yeah. And
we're handling all these projects, and we are curating very good content, and we are, we're handling our own. It's been about like more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you investing? Where are you putting your money aside for it to,
personally?
I guess, work for? Yes, personally.
I've been very invested in the whole farming space.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a farm?
Yeah, we have a farm.
Okay.
Is it my mom?
Where? Yeah, the place where you used to sell the cows.
That one, there's now another one that I put together. And also this restorative new approach is something that I've also invested in.
Okay.
With these friends that have become friends of mine actually from South Africa and New York. So they've sort of put something together that I'm now a part of.
Okay.
That you invest in. There's a whole blockchain approach to it. Yeah, so that's something that I'm now really, because it's the future. It's now the thing that's going to transform farming in Africa, especially places with...
Restorative, tell me a bit more about that.
So it's restorative. The idea is now it involves just in a nutshell, the paddocking of the space that they take care of the land. It's regenerative, restorative, climate friendly, and it will definitely alter the quality of the beef, where people have beef, the quality of the milk, based on how you take care of the land. It's very eco-friendly. Still stepping into ecotourism, and which is really the future. Right now with this whole AI and whatnot, we're investing now into creating spaces where people will even be flying from all over the world to come and connect with nature, right? So also bringing the whole blockchain approach, or sort of like a Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to bring it into the entire space. Something I'm really excited about, to be honest.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so farming, you have the restorative elements that you're investing
also
in.
production now.
Then there's your company, which is one of your big investments. Are you investing in any of the, I've heard a lot of people talk about unit trusts or the NSSF. I've forgotten what they call it, but it's an NSSF thing that people are doing as well.
The unit trust is something we've been having a conversation around with the team. We've had some guys that have been speaking to us about it.
But you haven't quite gotten there yet.
I haven't quite gotten there yet, I won't lie to you. But it's something that I've definitely, we even had a meeting last week, I think, or the week before. And that's something definitely to look into. Bonds as well, government bonds. We've had a chat with a few people. No, bro.
Now there's some money
now
to
you
think
can have
about.
a chat, bro. Not too long ago, it was just quencher, you know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean? So now we can sit into rooms and arrange meetings and have those conversations.
What does your personal budget look like? So when you get your money at the end of the month, what does your budget, where are you spending your money? How much of it is going to expenses? How much are you saving any?
Of course, there's a bit of saving, but...
You can give it to me in percentages, not even the figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, like 10% to save. Personal bills will take about like 60%.
Okay.
And then...
So you have about 40% left. Yeah.
So the 40% there is...
enjoyment.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So that's been my vibe lately.
Yeah. Okay.
But obviously the company also has its own arrangement.
Yes.
So
the company is separate. Yeah.
Again, I feel like now I've been in a phase where I really want to first sit back a bit and first appreciate myself. Because that trauma has been bloody.
Yeah.
I watched a video of you and some lady who was talking about how your money and your traumatic experiences are synonymous.
Yes. The therapist episode, yes.
Which is really true.
Yeah.
And it can affect, again, when I tell you something like my mom, one thing that I dealt with in my upbringing has been fear, the uncertainty, the anxiety of what could potentially go wrong, the attachment, being attached to things and what that could do to you and your well-being, which is also now what got me into the whole mental wellness space, to understand what has held me back for so long. And it has had a lot to do with my mindset. So you can have all the notes and all the ideas and all the concepts in your head, but bringing them to life is now a whole different ballgame. And it takes a lot than just being skilled, It takes a lot than just being, and also learning that everything has a lot to do with energy.
Yeah.
And what you, not going by what meets the eye, which is 0.00.
Yeah. Of what's actually happening.
What's truly reality. So I also thank, God, who has been very pivotal in my life as far as, now at least I can step into a room and because of the work I'm doing on the inside and walk in there and I know I'm Wanda in that room, and also understanding what the environment has contributed how it can be detrimental to your development or contributing factor, knowing what the meaning is to have people who are like-minded around you, because it can be quite turbulent if you're just on vibes. It's also another thing about us here. We have two economies.
Yeah.
We have the day economy and the night economy. I'm pretty sure you guys last night could check the night one.
We have some friends here.
Last night
Friends who are suffering.
Who are suffering. You know what I mean? I came in there and guys were just like, bruh. You know what I mean? So you find that the night one is a whole, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How is this completely different from the day one? Yeah. So there are many things that are happening, and I feel like you have to be in tune with self. Then it now starts to manifest through the energy, the emotion. Everything we do is emotion-based, which ultimately is what translates into energy, which is currency, which is money. Yeah. Not so much, when we come into the financial literacy, we sort of tend to obsess, in my understanding, on the money. But what is money? I don't believe money is just...
it's more than just the currency.
It's energy, it's an emotion that is attached to it. There's a currency, which is a flow of water or something, which translates into... But it's also predicated on an emotion. What I evoke, how do I make the emotion that I evoke in you is what ultimately translates into that. So you understand that, especially as a creator, it has to shift from you just aiming for the bag. Yeah. But rather, that which will allow you the essence of what you look like. When you keep asking guys on the show why the wealthiest never have peace, and so on and so forth. I can't really speak for all of them, but it has a lot to do with they bought into the idea of freedom rather than the actual conception of freedom, And me, I'd rather sleep at night
than have all the money.
Than have all that money and can't sleep for jack, So, these are things that you also now master through failure, which is something I'm eternally grateful for. Even that detention time was a very big contributing factor to help me become who I am today. Yeah. So failure played a very big role. Being slept on, pause. Yeah. Being told no. Yeah. More times than I can count. Yeah. So you find that now you become a package that just emanates great. Like you're now the life that you've been looking for. Yeah. Then it starts to translate into those other things that society has deemed important, and really and truly, they're not as important as self-awareness. Yeah.
Man, thanks so much, Wanda, for coming onto the show. Thanks for coming to Financially Incorrect,
thank you.
Giving us that incredible story about money and what it's been like for you in the creative economy and building it to where you are. I wish you all the best. I hope you make all the money there is to make here in the creative space.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Financially Incorrect Uganda Edition. We will see you guys in the next 2 weeks for the next episode. Please remember, put whoever you want us to interview, DM us, put it in the comments, Twitter, whatever it is. We'd really love to. If you can even connect us to them directly, please do. We'd love to interview them. See you next week. Well, in 2 weeks.